actually have here the honor to introduce the next guest speaker. This gentleman is a man of integrity, a man that fights for his team and what's right, a man who is loyal to his family, to his friends, to this company. I don't know how many times I've heard Mr. Marg, stand up and fight for his team, and that's what I love about him the most. I adore his wife. This is a gentleman that knows this business, and when we say inside and out, he knows this business inside and out. His integrity is outstanding, and he has been with the company since the very first day. He has a huge, huge team that follow him because of who he is, because who his wife is, Marcy. Just incredible people. I am honored to be in business with people like this. Ken, I adore you. I think you're a wonderful, wonderful person. And I'm just excited to be arm in arm with you. Ken is also an Inner Circle member, which is a prestigious club to be in Invado. So you could just imagine the accolades. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ken Marg.
Hi, Patty. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm great, Ken. How are you?
You know what? You sound great. And thank you for that introduction. And I got to tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed your training. It's not every day that I get a chance to hear your stream of consciousness. And I can tell you that from what I've seen and heard, you live what you talk. And my wife and I have really grown to love you and respect you. And we appreciate all that you are to this company as we turn the page on this chapter and look forward to a very, very bright future. So, Patty, thank you so much for the intro, and thank you for your training.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. So my topic is talking about PBRs. And I really like talking about PBRs because, as Patty said, we were fortunate in that we were with the company as it formed, and we got to see firsthand the power of PBRs. And the power, as Nick said a little while ago, the power is that you can talk to 40 people for an hour, or you can spend an hour talking to 40 people. And that's the power of PBRs. And don't get me wrong, it's not that every PBR has 40 people, but we have seen that the more that people take the private business reception seriously and spend the time planning for it and making sure that their guests get to the PBR, the faster their businesses grow. And one of my favorite stories is my good friend Bob Finkenthal, who we brought into the business. Bob's first PBR, I think he had 4 people there. And then a week later, he had another PBR, and there were 15 people there. And another PBR, the next one, a week later, he had 25 people. And that is what really propelled him to on his trip up to National Marketing Director. So I encourage you to take this small section seriously, and it's not complicated. The way it's been organized and presented for everybody, it's easy to follow, and I just encourage you to take it seriously. And as we say, PBRs let people get off to a fast start, and that's what we all want to do. The faster your team grows, the more that you're going to take the business seriously, the more excited you're going to become, the more excited people around you are going to become, and the greater is going to become the position that you build as you look to explode your business and take advantage of buying space. Right now, that side of it we'll leave to the training, but needless to say, the more people on your team, the more consumers, the more businesses, the more revenue or more income you're going to make. So, as we say in this slide, it's not magic. What we're not talking about anything that there's nothing behind the curtain. It is what it is, and as has been said, it's a numbers game. The more people you put in front of a business, the better off it is. And the basis of the PBR is your house. And the reason why your house works so effectively is that you're inviting your friends and people that you know to come to a place that they have probably been before and feel comfortable. And you are welcoming them into your home, and you're really setting the stage for the relationship that will follow. The people that you work with on your team really become great friends. And I can say without fear of contradiction that one of the great benefits that my wife and I have seen through this business is that people that we've locked arms with and gone to work with have really become some of our closest friends. We've faced challenges together, and we've reaped rewards together, and it's an exciting thing. So getting back talking about the PBR, you're going to pave the way for your success in the PBR. And in the back office, if you haven't seen it already, there's a 1, 2, 3 PBR sheet, which really does an incredible job of summarizing exactly what it is we're embarking upon. And the PBR sheet is broken up into 3 categories: before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. All 3 sections are incredibly important. And I'm not going to go through everything that's on here. I do want to highlight a few of the things that are on the sheet. And you just want to be prepared. You want to have your DVD ready. You want to have music. You want to create an environment that people feel good about being in your house. You want water and soda. This is not an adventure in business opportunity, and please, no alcohol. One of my favorite PBR stories is about the drunken heckler that we had there, and it was all because someone served beer at their PBR. So no alcohol, and we don't want distractions. Leave your animals outside. Leave your children with the animals, and have copies of the presentation materials for everybody. Make sure that your guests get there early. The best thing is if people arrive 15 to 30 minutes beforehand. Tell them that you want to make sure that they have an opportunity to meet the speaker before the presentation, and make sure that you introduce people to each other. You want people to start to feel comfortable with the possibilities of locking arms with some new friends. You also want to make sure that they understand the value and the power of the speaker that they're going to have for the day. It's very important. They are not going to know the speaker from Adam unless you tell them. And so it's very important that you help them understand what this person has accomplished in our arena, and also help them understand how they can be a bridge to helping them be successful in the business. And as we say, you always want to over-invite. Just as a general rule, you want to say that half the people that you invite are not going to be able to make it. Life happens. Don't be disappointed. Focus on the people that are there. That's the most important guest is the one that showed up, not that superstar in your own mind that comes up with a reason at the last minute. Focus on the people who are there and look to grow your business. For your PBR, you want to make a list of the people that you're going to invite to your event. And as we say, you want to put everybody that you know on the list, and don't prejudge who's going to be interested from those who aren't. We have seen over the years that we've been in Invado, we have seen stories of people that prejudged someone, that figured, oh, they're too successful, they wouldn't be interested in a business opportunity. And then a month later, that person who was prejudged to be too successful shows up as the guest of somebody else, and then you who didn't invite them are watching that person promote through the company, achieving incredible levels of success, and it was all, they could have been in your organization, but you had prejudged them. So make that list, invite everybody that you know, and let them determine if they're interested. And we have seen, when we say put everybody on it, we have seen people from all walks of life come into this business and be successful. As I said, my good friend Bob Finkenthal is an attorney. He's not only an attorney, but he was my kid's baseball coach, which is how I happened to know Bob. One of the busiest people I knew, but I didn't prejudge whether Bob would be interested or not. I just invited him. He saw the power of the business model. He jumped on, and the rest is history. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, everyday people with personality, anybody who is looking to make a better future for themselves and for their family, they belong on your list, and they belong having the opportunity to see it for themselves. As we say in this business, we're in the sorting business. We're not in the selling business. If you try and sell somebody on this opportunity, you're doing them a disservice. We want to put the information in front of somebody and let them decide if this is something that works for them. And the way that we sort of look at the world and what we want to do is divorce ourselves or separate ourselves from feeling personal rejection when people don't jump on board right away, because it's not us. It's all about them, and it's all about the timing in their life. And as we look at the world, there's three kinds of people, or three kinds of apples. There's red apples, green apples, and what we call rotten apples. Now, the red apples are those people that you just like to be around. And, as Patty was talking about my wife is a red apple. She's just enthusiastic. She's happy. She loves people. She loves giving to people, and people love to be around her. 20% of the people are red apples that you're going to run into, and you want to spend 80% of your time with those red apples. And keep in mind that there's a lot of green apples. I'm a green apple. I'm generally a positive person, but I want to understand things. Things need to make sense to me before I can move forward with something, and I need to have a lot of answers to my questions. Just remember that 60% of the people that you run into are green apples, and you want to spend 20% of your time with green apples. And keep in mind that you will run into rotten apples. These are the people who have got all of the answers. They'll tell you why something is not going to work, but they are the most broken people. Their lives don't work. They have all the answers, but nothing works for them. 20% of the people that you run into are rotten apples, and you want to spend no time with the rotten apples. Focus on the people who understand the possibilities, or want to understand the possibilities of what we're doing and what we're building. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, with the residual that we have built through this business, just through the energy side, we've seen the possibilities of all that can be built in this business. And daily refer to you is 10 times more powerful than what we had seen through the energy side of the business. This information we already went over about before the meeting. And before the meeting, we want to get our house prepared. A couple of things that you want to keep in mind. Have chairs ready, but you don't want to have more chairs in the room than you're going to have guests. So have a basic amount of chairs in the room, but be in a position that as people filter into your house, that you can pull chairs from another room. You don't want the room to look like, one of the great stories is somebody who set up a room with 60 chairs, only expecting 20 people in the first place. And what happens, of course, the 20 people who come in, even though everybody was expected shows up, but 20 people are looking and go, why did nobody show? So better to have the room more crowded than less crowded. There's a couple of things during the meeting to keep in mind. Etiquette is really important. And keep in mind that the whole time that you're helping somebody in this business, what you expose them to is how you're training them. And the first thing that you want people to understand, and you want to understand, is don't interrupt the speaker. It not only is rude, but it takes away from the credibility of the speaker. If there's something that's said that's wrong, you can correct it later. It's not that important. Allow the speaker to present the material without correction. You don't want to answer the phone. As a matter of fact, the phones need to be turned off. You don't want to ask questions. This event is for your guests. The reason why everyone is assembled is to introduce the business opportunity to your guests. And as I said or alluded to earlier, don't apologize for no-shows. The most important person at the event are the people at the event. And you always want to participate with the speaker. You always want to agree, and you always want to start and end on time. We always want to respect people's time. And starting and stopping promptly is a great way to do that. And it also allows people to understand that the amount of time that they allocate to this business isn't an unknown. The business meetings can be 45 minutes to an hour. That's what they expect, and they're excited to spend their time sharing with other people. After the meeting, what we want to do after the meeting is you want to have a group of people that are in a position to help filter through the crowd and answer questions for people. So some of the more experienced reps on your team, you want to help them or point out to them the importance of just mingling with the crowd and answering questions. You know, what we have seen happen is that as people listen to the business opportunity presentation, and they formulate questions, and those questions become the most important thing in their minds. And once those questions are answered, they're then in a position to move forward with the business. So we want to make sure that people get their questions answered. They may want to join us, they may not want to join us, but the most important thing is they get those questions answered. So please orient people to work with the new guests, the new prospective representatives, and also help them get off to a good start to the business. So that is my overview on the private business reception.